Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. I know there's a lot going on in the world, a lot going on in this country, and we are going to get through everything. Good, bad, or indifferent, we're going to get through everything. So I just want to give that little word in the beginning. Don't overanalyze things. Don't get on the web and argue with people, and you know it's just not worth it at this point. Keep your head down, do your work, whatever that is, whether it's your business. I know I have a lot of entrepreneurs that tune in here, whether it is your 9 to 5. I give a special love to our federal workers in all levels, who have been subject to a lot of confusion, hurt. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, federal workers are going through it right now. Sometimes they don't even know from day to day if they're going to have a job, which is extremely disruptive to anyone's life. And their livelihoods are being wielded around like this is a playground. And it's sad. It really does sadden me. But definitely sending love and light to anyone who is being affected by any of the upheavals that have been happening since the new administration took office. Definitely keeping all of you and the situation in my prayers for sure. And I hope the rest of you are as well. But I wanted to talk today about silent haters. And it actually goes very well with my opening statements that I just made, but we'll leave that alone for now. Silent haters. I've definitely dealt with this, where people want you to do well, but they don't want you to do better than them. A lot of this too is narcissism. I know very well that narcissism is a diagnosis, and I am not a doctor, but it's giving those tendencies, narcissistic tendencies. When people want to see you win, or when you win, it's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But in a condescending sort of way. People who don't follow up, people who don't go out of their way to keep relationships going. It's always one-sided. And you're thinking, well, maybe they just have a lot going on in their life, and maybe, it's just not on their radar. But sometimes it is on their radar. And they're doing it on purpose, but they want you to fuel them. And that's one thing. In narcissistic world, they want to be fueled. They want you to come to them. They want you to serve whatever that thing, that itch that they have. They use it as fuel to make them feel like they're higher than you or better than you. And I'll tell you, that is not the road I want to go down. That is not the road I want for anybody else to visit, because it's an ugly road. It keeps you isolated. It keeps you constantly on edge because you feel like you have to measure up and do all the things. But really what it is like you're silently hating on people. You don't like the fact that they're ahead of you. You don't like the fact that they are maybe financially more secure than you. They got a better man than you. They got a prettier wife than you. Whatever the situation is, it's hate. It's hate. It's also mental illness, for sure. It's also a lack of self esteem. Because if you feel like you have to hate on everything that people are doing, you have something negative to say all the time, you are lacking self esteem. Because honestly, if you got things going on in your life and you're thriving, you don't have time to worry about what everybody else is doing. You don't have time to dig into the minutia of people's lives. You don't have time. You're doing your own thing. But anytime I see people taking the time to mimic constantly what other people are doing, and in a competitive kind of way, this is, in my opinion, a form of mental illness. This constant hate, and it's often silent. It often comes in backhanded, um, so-called compliments. You know, that backhanded compliment, like, "Oh, what are you doing with your little business over there? Oh, you're really thriving." It's. I'm glad that I just mentioned that, because I posted a video not till this month. I know it's been the month of February. I posted a video of Kelly Rowland talking about, don't let anybody little your business. Not belittle as well, but don't anybody little your business. Oh, what you got going on with that little business of yours? Oh, what you got going on with that little whatever? Don't ever let anybody do that. That's a hater. And I know people don't like using the word hater, but it's true. These folks don't have anything going on for themselves that they have to find the negative. They have to find a way to crush you down a notch, because they, at the end of the day, they're not doing what they need to do in their lives. They wish they could do what you were doing. They wish they had the audacity to succeed, and they don't. So they little your business, they belittle your efforts, they never support anything that you do. And a lot of times too, people can't even openly support you because of how they've talked about you behind their back to other people. That's another form of hate as well. They can't openly click like on anything that you post, or even if it pertains to them and, it's relevant. Oh no, they can't click like on anything. They have to skulk in the background and peep, and lurk, because of how they have spoken about you to other people. And trust me, if you get that feeling or that inkling, you understand exactly how that feels. You don't always need confirmation. Oh, so-and-so said this, or so. You can feel it. You can feel it. It's literally, you can feel it in the air when people are, yammering on. We are adults. If you have an issue with someone, or you want to talk to somebody about something, then do that instead of hating. You have no idea how hard that individual has worked to get to where they are. You only see the success. You only see the good. You don't know how hard they've worked to get to where they are. You have no idea the amount of sacrifice that they have made. I remember I worked with this young lady years and years ago, and we actually do keep in touch on occasion. And I remember her coming to work every day and eating ramen noodles. And excuse me, I apologize. My voice has been kind of up and down, but eating ramen noodles, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, ham and cheese sandwiches, very generic, very, And I remember people kind of making fun of her, not in a schoolyard bully kind of way, but girl, you love that peanut butter and jelly, huh? Just saying all kinds of things. And then I went to lunch with her one day, and when I say went to lunch, we went down to the cafeteria. And I said, girl, you eat these peanut butter sandwiches every day. I said, do you love peanut butter and jelly that much? She's like, I wasn't much of a peanut butter and jelly person as a kid. I'm just trying to say it as a matter of fact conversation because I felt like there was more behind the story. So she tells me that her and her husband have been saving up for a house, and they've been very conservative with their spending. And I thought, wow. She's like, we have made one of those things that we do not eat out at all. They had like a specific time frame where they did not eat out at all for like over a couple of years. And because they found that eating out at lunch, both of them, he goes and eats out for lunch on his job and her on her job, they found that was where their biggest spending was coming in. And then with the kids don't, you don't want, both people come home late. Nobody, really wants to cook, and the kids don't want to, So you just go and you get something from outside, McDonald's or fast food. And she said that was taking up literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. So she said, I nipped it in the bud. My husband and I sat down and talked about it, and that was the end of that. And she said, we literally have saved so much. They saved thousands of dollars, and they were able to do a massive down payment on their home, in a beautiful home on an acre of land. Phenomenal. Because I knew there was more to the story. And I never make fun of people. I'm like one of those folks that, when folks are gathering to make fun of people, I'm really not that person. I don't want to be a part of anything that makes people feel less than. But I knew there was more to the story, and I was glad. And it actually inspired me to tighten up on my spending, At that time I was a Starbucks queen, and I actually pulled back on that, and I made it like Starbucks was a treat rather than an everyday practice, So that was quite a few years ago, well, maybe close to 15 years ago. And it worked out for them, it worked out for them. And to have a house today, and they kept up with the frugal lifestyle to the fact that their house is now paid off, actually pretty recently. So you're talking about a 30-year mortgage paid off in almost half the time is incredible. Incredible. So don't worry about these haters. Don't worry about the people who little your business or belittle you. Don't worry about them, because the time that they take to talk about you and put you down, that's time that they could be using to work on themselves and better themselves and change their situation, but they won't do that. Their mind is too small to do so. So don't worry about that. We are being crushed right now by an administration that doesn't seem to care at all. Don't worry about it. God got us. All right. So that's my word today. I will check in again. But if you want to get in touch with me, at Onyx Queen Media on Instagram is my most active social media. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.